Have you ever wondered why, even though you eat well, exercise regularly, and follow all the right habits, your legs still feel weaker? Why do the stairs seem steeper these days? Why does it take just a bit more effort to rise from a chair than it used to? Is it simply the effect of aging, or could something else be silently working against you? Here's where things might surprise you. It's not always about what you're not doing. Sometimes it's something you're already doing without realizing the harm it brings. Many seniors make a subtle mistake every single day, doing so with full confidence, because they've been told all their lives that fruits are wholesome, natural, and beneficial. And yes, most of them truly are. But here's the uncomfortable truth that rarely gets talked about. Not every fruit is ideal for older adults. In fact, some of the very fruits we casually eat every week can slowly sap leg strength, trigger knee pain, worsen joint inflammation, and make walking feel more difficult. Fruits widely praised as healthy might actually undermine your balance, mobility, and muscle power. You see, as we get older, our bodies go through real changes. Our circulation weakens, our metabolism slows, and the foods that once supported us can quietly start to hurt us, especially certain fruits. They may seem harmless. They may taste sweet, but they're packed with acids, sugars, and compounds that spike blood sugar, fuel inflammation, and gradually weaken the legs. What's most alarming, the damage creeps in gradually, so subtle you don't notice it until one day you feel sudden calf pain ongoing, thigh soreness, or strange tightness in your knees after just a brief walk. Today, I'm going to reveal the 7 most harmful fruits that anyone over 60 should avoid, especially if you want to protect your legs from chronic pain, weakness, and long-term damage. Despite how harmless they seem, none of these fruits are as innocent as they look. Once you uncover the truth, you'll never look at your fruit bowl the same way again. So stay with me until the end. If you care about preserving your strength and want to keep your legs strong, stable, and free from pain, your body might be waiting for this crucial wake-up call. But hold on a second before we dive in. If you care about your health, make sure to hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications. This is the place where we uncover the truths that rarely get talked about. And I want to know if you're with me right now. If you're watching, type 1 in the comments. If this message resonates with you, if not, type 0. You may not realize just how much your input matters. Let's get started with the very first fruit on our list. It's often praised for its anti-inflammatory benefits, yet it could be having the opposite impact on older adults. Let's talk about pineapple. Pineapple, the tropical, juicy, refreshing fruit that has long been celebrated thanks to a compound called bromelain, known as a natural anti-inflammatory. But here's the catch. While many believe pineapple helps reduce inflammation, it might quietly be a hidden problem for seniors. You see, pineapple contains powerful acids and natural sugars, and those sugars, they aren't as harmless as they seem, especially if you're over 60. Let me explain. As we age, our blood vessels become more delicate and sensitive. They no longer handle sugar spikes the way they once did. Despite its supposed benefits, pineapple delivers a sharp hit of natural sugar into the bloodstream. What happens next? Blood sugar levels surge quickly. The small blood vessels that feed your legs, feet, and muscles can be damaged by this sudden spike. Over time, as circulation worsens, less oxygen reaches your lower limbs. And what does that lead to? Pain, fatigue, swelling, that dull, dragging ache you feel after a short walk, that stiffness in your knees when you stand up, that unexpected ankle pain even after sitting all day. But there's more. Pineapple is highly acidic, so while it's sweet, that acid can worsen joint irritation, especially if you already deal with inflammation or arthritis. It's like pouring fuel onto a smoldering fire, burning in your knees, hips, and ankles. Some people even notice their legs feel heavier after eating pineapple, as if their strength is slowly slipping away. And here's something else you need to know. especially if you're taking medications, particularly blood thinners. Bromelain, the well-known enzyme in pineapple, can interact with certain drugs, making them either too potent or not effective enough. But the most dangerous part, pineapple doesn't usually cause any immediate or obvious side effects. There's no sharp signal or sudden pain. Instead, it works quietly, gradually, until one day you realize you can't move the way you used to. And the saddest part of all, most seniors don't realize that the very fruit they're eating for their health might be contributing to the creeping weakness they feel in their legs each year. So what can you actually do? It's not about completely hating pineapple, but you do need to stay informed and speak up, especially if you've been struggling with ongoing leg pain or unexplained swelling. The damage is subtle, but it's real. Now, if pineapple, often praised for its anti-inflammatory qualities, can cause such trouble for aging legs, what about the next fruit on the list? It's soft, it's tasty. It's widely known for boosting muscle strength and providing a good dose of potassium, but it may not be as innocent as you think. Let's talk about bananas. Bananas, the second fruit and the so-called muscle helper. Soft, sweet, and rich in potassium bananas have long been considered a nutritional powerhouse. People claim they provide energy, prevent cramps, and support muscle health. But here's the twist. Things look a bit different when it comes to seniors. Bananas are packed with natural sugars and fast-digesting carbs. This means that right after eating them, your blood sugar spikes, and if this happens often, your body can start developing insulin resistance. Blood flow weakens, inflammation rises, and your legs, they feel the consequences. You might notice a nagging soreness when climbing stairs, or walking, a sense of heaviness in your legs after meals, or tightness in your calves. But that's not all. Bananas can also cause the body to retain more fluid, especially if you have underlying heart conditions. This can lead to swollen feet, puffed up ankles, and stiff joints. And the worst part, the impact is slow and silent. You think you're helping your muscles by eating them, but in reality, they may be quietly draining your strength. It doesn't hit you right away, but over time, eating bananas could make movement more painful and more difficult. So take a closer look at the fruits on your plate. If you're often dealing with heavy sore or swollen legs, bananas might not be the friendly food they appear to be. And here's the kicker. If something as small as a banana can have this effect, what about something even tinier? Let's move on to grapes, the third fruit on our list. Small fruit, big. Inflammatory impact grapes. They look harmless, tiny, juicy, and easy to pop as a snack. They also carry a glowing reputation, heart-friendly, packed with antioxidants. But here's what most people don't realize for older adults. Grapes can trigger mild leg pain, stiffness, and inflammation. Why is that? Grapes contain fructose, a type of sugar that when consumed in high amounts can be problematic. This sugar goes straight to the liver, where it's turned into fat and uric acid if the liver can't process all of it. That's where the real trouble begins, especially in your toes, ankles, and knees. Uric acid starts to build up in the joints. This leads to a burning, swollen discomfort that flares up off and on. That nagging ache that makes even gentle walking tough. Have you ever felt that sharp pain in your big toe at night? That sudden tightness in your calves? Sometimes something as small as a handful of grapes can push your uric acid levels up. And it doesn't stop there. Fructose also feeds chronic inflammation throughout your body. That means slower movements, extra pressure, and increased stiffness. Plus, grapes are incredibly easy to overeat. They're bite-sized, light, and refreshing. Before you know it, you've polished off 2 or 3 cups, and that sugar adds up fast. So while grapes may seem like a healthy snack, they can quietly chip away at your flexibility, strength, and leg comfort as you get older. Now you understand what might be hiding beneath that sweet flavor. If you've been snacking on grapes regularly and noticing more stiffness and swelling, there's something you should know. Grapes aren't the only healthy fruit that can quietly work against you. There's another juicy, colorful, and famous for its hydrating power. But don't be fooled. While it tastes like water inside your body, it behaves like sugar. Let's talk about watermelon. The fourth fruit, watermelon. The false hydrator. Light, refreshing, and a symbol of summer and hydration. Could this watery fruit be quietly harming your legs? It sounds surprising, doesn't it? After all, everyone agrees that watermelon is a great way to stay hydrated. It feels harmless, low in calories, and made up mostly of water. But here's the hidden truth. Watermelon has an extremely high glycemic index. That means it sends your blood sugar soaring quickly, much like eating candy, and for older adults, those repeated sugar surges can be especially damaging, particularly to the legs. Let's break this down. When your blood sugar spikes, your body releases insulin to manage it. But in aging bodies, insulin regulation is often impaired. This leads to inflammation, especially in areas with weaker circulation. Where does that show up in your calves, ankles, and knees? You may feel leg fatigue soon after eating, a dull ache when you take a brisk walk, that strange, persistent puffiness around your ankles. Even climbing stairs can start to feel like scaling a mountain. Watermelon feels light and innocent, but on the inside, it acts like a deceptive trap, gradually wearing down your leg strength. Most people eat a lot of it because it's juicy and refreshing. One slice turns into 2, then 3, more sugar, more stress, more inflammation. It's misleading. You think you're just staying hydrated, but instead your blood sugar is surging, your circulation is struggling, and your legs pay the price. So, does watermelon really help older adults stay hydrated? Or does each bite quietly increase the strain on movement and comfort? If you've been feeling more leg fatigue lately, it might be time to rethink whether that watermelon on your plate is as harmless as it seems. Now, let's move on to another fruit often tied to vitamin C and wellness, found in juices, immune-boosting drinks, and breakfast plates everywhere. But for seniors, it might deliver a hidden acidic punch to the joints. Let's talk about oranges. Oranges, the fifth fruit. The citrus attack on joints. Oranges seem smart and wholesome. They have a fresh, inviting aroma. They're everywhere in juices, health products, breakfast spreads. They're praised for boosting immunity thanks to their vitamin C content. But oranges may be hiding an uncomfortable truth for older adults, especially those over 60. What's behind that bright citrus appeal? Acid, something your joints aren't fond of. Oranges are packed with citrus acids, and while that might seem harmless, it can quietly irritate the joints, particularly if your body is already dealing with stiffness, inflammation, or arthritis. When you wake up, you might feel creeping stiffness in your knees, constant hip discomfort, that uneasy sensation in your legs. After sitting too long, reduced flexibility, and more swelling. You may assume it's just part of aging. But here's the catch: that healthy habit of drinking orange juice every morning could actually be fueling the very aches you're trying to avoid. Here's what's really happening. The citric acid in oranges doesn't just stay in your stomach. It enters your bloodstream and can irritate the delicate tissues around your joints. Combined with the fruit's natural sugars, it can also trigger blood sugar swings. And what's the result? Widespread inflammation. That inflammation travels to your knees, calves, and ankles, making every step feel heavier and more painful. While oranges might not pose much of a problem for younger people, their effects quietly build up in older adults with aging joints and slower blood flow. The hardest part: you consume them thinking you're doing something good for your body. For years, oranges have been tied to health and wellness. But now you know they might not be as harmless as they seem. So what's next? Let's move on to the next fruit, one that looks neat and harmless. Green, crisp, and lower in sugar. People often think it's the safe choice, but it hides something that can lead to nighttime cramps, stiff knees, and aching hips. Let's talk about green apples. Green apples. The sixth fruit are a hidden trigger for leg discomfort. They look fresh, crisp, and natural. Many people, especially seniors, assume they're the healthier choice because they taste less sweet. It seems like the perfect low-sugar snack. But here's what most don't realize. Green apples can quietly contribute to fatigue, stiffness, and leg pain. Two culprits are at play: malic acid and concealed natural sugars. First, malic acid. This is what gives green apples their tart bite. While it's fine for younger people, it can be rough on aging digestion. As we age, our gut lining becomes more sensitive, and once malic acid enters the body, it can also irritate tissues, including the joints. Some older adults experience sharp hip or thigh pain after eating apples. Others notice a light burning sensation in their feet or tightness in their knees. It builds slowly over time, but as the acid accumulates, the discomfort becomes more frequent. Now let's talk about the sugar. Even though green apples don't taste as sweet as red ones, they still contain natural sugars, and in seniors with slower metabolisms, that sugar can cause blood sugar fluctuations. This might show up as tired calves, nighttime leg cramps, morning stiffness, or weakness when climbing stairs. What makes it trickier is that green apples are often eaten raw as a snack, or even right before bed, keeping their effects constant. They appear clean and healthy, but they may quietly stiffen joints, make walking more difficult, and disrupt restful nights for older bodies. And if something as simple as a green apple can do this, what about a tropical, rich, and super sweet fruit, one beloved by many? Let's talk about the real sugar bomb, the mango. Mango, the seventh fruit, is a sugar blast to your joints. Juicy, tender, and candy-like mangoes are a favorite, especially during the summer. But here's the truth. Mangoes might be the most damaging fruit for older adults, dealing with joint weakness and leg pain. Why? Because they're loaded with natural sugar. And I don't mean just a small amount. I mean a serious sugar surge that causes your blood sugar to spike sharply and quickly. If you're young and active under 30, your body can usually handle that surge. However, once you're over 60, your metabolism shifts. That sugar surge leads to a spike in insulin followed by a sudden crash. And each time this cycle repeats, your body stirs up inflammation deep inside your joints, especially in the soft tissues around your hips, knees, and ankles. If you have nerve issues, you might notice burning in your toes, a persistent tingling sensation, evening swelling in your feet, or a creeping heaviness in your legs. Because mango tastes light, feels refreshing, and doesn't feel like a heavy meal. It's easy to eat more than you realize, but the more you eat, the worse the effect becomes. That's the tricky part. Your body doesn't care how light it feels. It only responds to the sugar load, and over time, that sugar can lead to aching joints, slower walking, and unsteady legs. Many older adults eat mangoes believing they're a natural, healthy treat. And yes, they are natural. But natural doesn't always mean safe when it comes to aging joints and weakening circulation. Now you've seen the full picture. These 7 fruits, often praised for their health perks, can have hidden downsides for those over 60. Here's the good news, though. Some fruits have the opposite effect. They actually strengthen your legs, reduce joint discomfort, and fight inflammation. So let's now focus on those, the healing alternatives, and what older adults should include in their diet instead. Let's move on to what you can eat now that you know which fruits to limit or avoid. Because eating the right fruits doesn't just fill you up, it helps heal your body. First, let's highlight berries. Blackberries, raspberries, blueberries. These small fruits pack a serious anti-inflammatory punch. They're low in sugar, rich in antioxidants, and gentle on your blood sugar. Most importantly, they boost circulation, especially in the legs, helping improve movement, ease, stiffness, and reduce swelling. Next up, cherries, but in moderation. In fact, cherries can help lower uric acid levels, reducing the risk of gout attacks and joint flare-ups. They soothe aching joints and ease the burning sensation you might feel in your knees or toes. Just a handful, not a whole bowl, can bring meaningful relief. Then there's avocado. Yes, it's technically a fruit, and it's one of the best for joint health. Why? Because it's packed with healthy fats that cushion the joints and lower inflammation throughout your body. Plus, it helps regulate insulin, offering steady energy without blood sugar spikes. Looking for something that's gentle on digestion? Try papaya. This soft tropical fruit contains enzymes that help tame inflammation and support smooth digestion. It's easy on aging joints and kind to sensitive stomachs. And don't forget, pears ideally paired with a little fiber or protein. They deliver a light sweetness without overloading you with sugar. Pears help fuel your body without putting extra strain on your legs. Each of these fruits works with your body, not against it. They don't bring pain. They don't cause swelling. They help you regain the vitality balance and ease your body is craving. Remember, it's not just about eating fruit. It's about choosing the right ones for your age and your needs. Fruits that truly suit your body's needs at this stage of life. And once you start making those intentional choices, you'll begin to feel the difference. Stronger, steadier steps, smoother movements, and clearer, more energized mornings. Let's wrap up with some final thoughts. A bit of encouragement and a personal message just for you. If you've made it this far, one thing is clear. You care deeply about your future, your strength, and your health. And I want you to hear this loud and clear. It's not too late to make a change. You still have time to heal, to improve, and to regain control. You are not alone in this journey. Aging is tough. The stiffness, the aches, the creeping fear of falling. They come little by little, and sometimes they can make you feel like your body is slipping away. But here's the truth. You can take back control, not through drastic measures, but through small, smart changes. One meal, one fruit, one thoughtful choice at a time. The fruits we talked about today aren't inherently bad, but they might no longer be the best match for your body's current needs. And that's perfectly okay. Aging isn't about giving up. It's about getting wiser. As you begin to eat more mindfully, choosing foods that support your strength, circulation, and joint health, you will start noticing the change. Less pain, more flexibility, easier mornings, and lighter, more confident steps. That's what this message is about. Not fear or restriction, but empowerment and care. Now, I want to hear from you. Share in the comments what you learned today and what small change you're ready to make. Let's support one another, because when we share, we all grow stronger. If this video or message helped you or opened your eyes even a little, please hit the like button. Make sure to subscribe so you won't miss any insights that could improve your health. Don't forget to turn on notifications. Before you go, type 1 in the comments if this message was useful to you, or 0 if it wasn't. You might not realize it, but your comment matters more than you know. Stay strong, stay mindful, and always remember, your independence walks on your legs.